What up, YouTube world? It's your boy Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another Raw Talk, Raw review, sort of featuring SmackDown. Uh, I always want to try to do SmackDown on Mondays, but I don't be having the time because I be working, so it don't be happening for me. So, uh, SmackDown was really about bloodline stuff, and that's pretty much what we're going to talk about today. Raw wasn't focused on bloodline stuff, but it was pretty apparent from what happened on SmackDown what was going to happen today or last night, and that is Jey Uso losing the Intercontinental Championship back to Braun Breaker because of shenanigans from the bloodline. So Friday on SmackDown, what happened was uh, Solo came out with the bloodline, wanting Jimmy and Jay. Well, he wanted not Jimmy and Jay. He wanted Jimmy and Roman, but specifically Roman, to come out to acknowledge him and stuff like that. But instead of Roman coming out, Jey Uso's music hit, huge ovation. I was like, no, he came out. That means he's going to lose now. So he did come out, and Solo was saying, hey, brother, I love you, man. There's a spot for you and Roman right here next to me in the bloodline, and uh, Jay was pretty much saying, no, I left the bloodline, for all this BS. If you want to be tribal chief, hey, do you? But you got to beat Roman. You're not doing it the right way. So the thing about, so pretty much the thing that's going on with the Samoan family and the bloodline and all that stuff is, if you want to be the top dog, if you want to be number one, you want to be numero uno, I'm assuming that it has to be done the right way. That's why the stuff with Roman and Jay, when they did the whole thing, they wanted no interference. They did it the right way, even though Jimmy did cost Jay. But, they still did it the right way. But in the case with Solo, he just kicked everybody out uh, without, doing it the right way. He just took the Ulafala, which is why Paul Heyman was like, where'd you get that from? He just took it and just self-proclaimed himself as tribal chief. And my assumption is, if you want to be the tribe, you want to actually be the tribal chief. You want to be the head of the table. You want to be the guy. You got to do it the right way. You got to challenge Roman to that. And if Solo wins, I'm assuming then that would make him tribal chief, which he hasn't done. So I guess that's Jay's whole thing, and a lot of the whole premise of this is like, hey, you're not earning your keeps of being tribal chief. You want to be tribal chief, hey, you got to do it the right way. You got to be Roman. You can't just take and just say you want to be tribal chief. If you want to be tribal chief, you trust us and you love us. You want to be by your side. Why did you bring in the Tongans? Why did you bring in Jacob Fatu? There's a reason why we kept them outside and didn't have them there, because they're crazy. And then he was like, "Hey, and if you keep looking at me, I'm gonna knock you out." He was talking to Jacob Fatu. I was like, "Oh no, yeah, you definitely lose out." But hey, you say some crazy stuff like that. So he said, "Next time I see you, it's gonna be different." And it was different. And then they did a backstage segment where Roman and Jimmy Uso was listening to some new Travis Scott, and they was like, "Oh, look who it is!" And Jay comes up and he kind of smiles at Jimmy, but then looks at Roman. He was like, "Hey, we're proud of you. We're all proud of you." And you kind of could tell that he wanted to say, "Oh, thank you," but he was like, "Man, no yeet," and he just left, which played into later on, where I think it was Jimmy and Solo. Maybe I think that was the main event where Solo wins, of course, because of Bloodline. Uh, Roman comes to help. Everybody's chanting yeet. They want Jey Uso to come out, but they didn't, and they beat up the Bloodline and probably other people. There was probably other people they beat up too. So that led up to this match, this show, where they was asking Jay about the Bloodline. He was like, man, I said my piece, what I had to say. I don't know why he thought it was going to be sweet, but he said, that's not what we're talking about. Tonight it's about me retaining this Intercontinental Championship and a pretty decent show. Um, uh, he said, Jimmy or Jay said, it's kind of ironic that we're in the city of brotherly love, and there's been no love for me and any of my family recently. But he said he's going to show out and prove why he's Intercontinental Champion. The match, or well, the show kicks off with they do the stuff where everybody's like, all right, Damage Control, they got a match, or they're here, Rhea Ripley's here, Judgment Day's here. And then they did a thing where Bronson Reed was coming in from what happened with Seth last week, and Seth just attacked Bronson Reed from the jump. They was going at each other. They throughout the whole show, they was going at each other, beating each other up. I think Seth Rollins had like a briefcase, or I think it might have been his luggage. Well, Bronson Reed's luggage. Hit him with it. Went out to the ring. He was like, "Hey, you want some of this? You want to be famous? Come, let's go." So Bronson Reed comes out. They're fighting each other. They're beating up security. Later on, he goes to Bronson Reed. He was like, What are you doing? You just out here?" Oh, because he Pierce was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. He was like, "Man, yeah, we know you let your peoples do what they want. Everything's getting out of hand." And then Bronson Reed comes up. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And then boom, Rollins attacks him. They're going after each other again. They had to be pulled apart. And then they did it again. This time, Pierce was with Seth. He was like, "Bro, what is going?" And then, boom, Bronson Reed attacks Seth. They're going at it again. And then they did it a third time. And then Pierce was like, "You know what? Everybody stop fighting right now. It's going to be Bronson Reed. It's going to be Seth Rollins. It's going to be at Crown Jewel. Is everybody happy now? Good. Get them out of my building." It was good stuff. It was good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So that match is going to happen. Bronson Reed is probably going to win, as he should win. Uh, Even though it's going to be the only one match he's going to win against Seth Rollins, his whole thing is he wants to be top tier. He wants to be numero uno. He wants to be with the top guys. He wants to be with the Gunthers. He wants to be with the Seth Rollins, the Damian Priest, CM Punks, Drew McIntyre. He wants to be considered top guy, and him going to be a top guy. He's going to beat Seth Rollins. So that was all great stuff. We like that. So next up, it was number one contenders match was New Day versus Authors of Pain. I'm not gonna lie, thought Authors of Pain was gonna win this, especially when the Miz comes out. He's just watching, he's observing. Karrion Cross patting us up on the back, like, "Let's go." And then our Truth comes out of nowhere, attacks the Miz, attacks Karrion Cross, gets a distraction for Kofi Kingston to get the win on for the New Day. And then they're about to leave. Well, they're leaving, and then our Truth gets jumped. For some reason, I don't know why Truth didn't just leave with the New Day. He was like, "Oh yeah," I wasn't an asshole, bro. Was like, "Yeah, thanks, our Truth. Yeah, you're the man. Thank you, you're the man. Appreciate it." So they're leaving. Our Truth stays in the ring, gets jumped. Kofi Kingston's about to help. What is like, "Nah, man, let him. Hey, he could have came with us, but he stayed in the ring. Let him do him." And then right that Kofi was like, "Come on, man, we got it." He was like, "Nah, man, he can fend for himself. He got it." And then the lights go off, of course. Come back up. The Wyatt Six have returned. Big pop for the Wyatt Six. Nikki Cross is at the top of the turnbuckle. She goes right after Ivan. What I like about Nikki Cross is she's always the one to initiate everything. It doesn't matter what it is. She's always the first one to start the fight, and that's what I like. She jumps off the top of the turnbuckle, attacks Ivy now. Hilarious. The rest of the three is attacking Karrion Cross and Authors of Pain. Miz is just carrying the hype, like, "Yeah, oh yeah, made it out scot free, baby. I'm the man." And then, of course, Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas comes. He was about to attack the Miz, but uh, my goat, uh, Paul Ellering, uh, stopped that from happening for the Miz, and then he got the mandible claw instead. Yeah, that was good stuff. The match was good, but it was really about the happening at the end. So it looks like I don't know if the Miz is going to actually join Final Testament, but it's going to be Final Testament versus the Wyatt Six. Maybe they'll do that while Miz faces off against my boy Bo Dallas. It'll be interesting to see what happens with uh, our truth because I'm assuming our truth isn't really going to be done with Miz or them anyway. Also, big pop for our truth for showing up. Love our truth. He's the goat. So it'll be interesting to see what they do next week with that. If they're going to have another actual match with Truth and Miz, or they're just going to be like they're just going to just stop that and they'll be like, and then next week Truth is going to be like, "Hey Woods, what the heck? What is good? Like I helped you guys. Why didn't you help me?" and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Obviously, I think that the Y6 is probably going to come up on a winning end of that. But it will be fun. I think it'll be fun. It helps the tag team division. You got tag team division heating up. New Day wins. Uh, good stuff. Next up, it is Damage Control versus Raquel and Liv. Uh, Damage Control. They was doing a backstage segment after the whole brawl thing in the beginning, and they were talking about their match against Metaphor, 2 out of 4, 2 out of Metaphor, um, for NXT, which is happening tonight, and then Liv and Raquel kind of just like pushed them to the side. They were like, "Yeah, anyways, forget y'all. Uh, we're the champ. I'm the champ. Rhea, we're not done with you. Uh, you're the reason why we had to vacate the tag team titles. Why you took her off the shelf. You thought you was slick because Raquel also had like a video package of stuff. Then she's not done with you because of stuff that she did to Liv and the stuff that she did to her, plus her tag titles, uh, and injuring her and Liv and stuff like that. So that was that, and then EO and Kyrie was jaw jacking uh, Liv, and then of course Raquel, she gets there, she shuts it all down. She's like, "Well, how about you two faces us?" And that match happened, and I guess technically, Damage Control wins by disqualification, and they had the match. It was fun for what it was. Io Sky killing it with the hot tags. She was getting hot tags in. She was hitting moonsaults. She was kicking Kel in the face. She was doing all crazy stuff. And then, of course, at the end, like I said, Lash Legend Jakara Jackson was at ringside to take out the 2 out of Metaphor. Uh, so I guess technically they won by disqualification. If I guess they made it a no contest, but technically they won because Lash and Jakara they attacked them, or they attacked each other, and then after that, Raquel and Liv was jaw jacking Jakara and Lash, and then while they were doing that, it's like you need to be worried about something else, and then Rhea Ripley's music came, and it was like, see, you're talking all that mess, now you're about to get it, and then Raquel, so they leave. Because like I got it, don't worry. And then she said, "Bang!" Headbutted her, but she kind of got up. She took her out a little bit. Then she went out to Liv, and then Raquel again tried to help. Nah, she took her out again. It was only because of Dirty Dom saved Liv from the prism trap, and then Dom got hit with the prism trap, and then Raquel saved Dom, and that was it. So Damage Control don't lose. More spotlight on tag team women's wrestling for Lash and Jakara to check out NXT tonight. And then Rhea Ripley destroys them all. So I'm guessing they're going to do not Liv. They're going to do Raquel versus Rhea eventually, maybe at Crown Jewel. Because I don't see them doing a tag match because I wouldn't know who she would tag with. So yeah, so they might just do the I'm stupid. The Liv is facing Naya at Crown Jewel because of the champion versus champ. I forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie. So they might do Rhea versus Raquel at Crown Jewel, and then that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, yep. So that was that. It was not bad. It was good stuff. I liked it. No loss for Damage Control, which we like those. Rhea Ripley's whooping everybody. We like those too. And Jakara and Lash, we really like those. So that's all good stuff that we like. They're gonna do a match between Raquel and not Raquel. What's his name? Dom and Rhea. It's gonna be great. So before I finish that part, there's two more things, but before I finish to get it out the way, um, backstage, uh, not damage control, uh, Judgment Day's part of Dom, Liv, and Raquel. They're not happy. They go back. JD was like, "Hey, you guys like our new clubhouse?" And then Raquel's like, "You know what I like? I like to teach Rhea Ripley a lesson. You know, she keeps getting in my business. I want to take her out." And so she's mad. And then it was like, so you guys are ready for the tag team, the thing for whatever. They was like, man, we don't care about that. Whoever's gonna win, we got that. Ben was like, what I care about is Damian Priest talk about he wants to be next in line for the World Heavyweight Championship. No bueno, we don't like those. I want to get him from not doing that, and that's gonna cost him because he's too obsessed with Damian Priest. Leave Damian Priest alone. You lost. Worry about tag team gold. Worry about the gold. But he's not worried about that. I think. So that happened, and so Don Ball, man, Don was like, "Hey, so I got an idea. How about I face Gunther and beat him and be world champion?" And Carlito laughs, but also so did JD. JD laughed too. And they was like, oh, Carlito, oh, what's so funny? And Raquel was like, oh, what do you do here anyway? He was like, I'm the cool factor. I, Carlito, I could rip you cool. He was like, but also JD was laughing too. And then he was like, no, JD was laughing too. I was laughing because JD was laughing. And then and Don was like, you was kind of laughing. I like you. He was like, no, I got you. He was like, I'm going to talk to Pierce right now. I'm going to fix it. I'm the fixer guy. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get you that title shot with Gunther. I got you. Don't worry about it. So they go backstage after Damage Control is mad about what happened. He was like, I'm going to fix it. Don't worry about it. I guess he said he's going to talk to Ava and he's going to fix it. Stuff like that. And then Carlito comes in. He goes, oh, he looks at Damage Control. He's like, oh, I got to learn, uh, I think he said Chinese or something like that. Which I don't even want to get on that subject because everybody's going crazy about it. It is, Carlito is just Carlito. He's being a silly guy. Everybody's saying it's racist. That's not my place. I don't know. I didn't see it as racist, but that's not my. I just personally me because Carlito was talking about him being cool. He's the cool factor. He's just oh, I gotta learn. I gotta learn Chinese. Oh yeah, for EO and that. And then he was like, what do you want? He was like, oh, I'm here to get they're looking for a new challenger for Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I got you. He was like, you want to challenge Gunther? No, not me, Dom Mysterio. And then he laughs. He was like, what's so funny? What? He was like, yeah, I want a challenger for Gunther, but Dom has not been wrestling and winning matches for you to do that. He was like, oh, he got to earn it. He was like, okay. He was like, okay, well, how about next week? If he beats the former world champion, I'll consider giving him the title match. He was like, work for me. I got you. And then they did like a exclusive where it was like I got you. He was like, oh, you got me the title match? Like, no, I got you a match against a former world champion. And he should have said, but if you beat the world champion, that gives you that puts you in line for a match against Gunther. but nobody knows who the champion is. And in my mind, at first in my mind, I was like, oh, it's gonna be Goldberg, right? It's gonna be Goldberg, ill. But then everybody was like, it might be Damian Priest. But then again, Damian Priest, they kept saying Damian Priest is done with Judgment Day. So again, I'm like, eh. So then I'm like, well, okay, so maybe it's Seth Rollins, maybe because their match is at Crown Jewel, so maybe it'd be Seth Rollins, maybe Sheamus, world former world champion, maybe Drew McIntyre. I mean, he's a former WWE champion, but maybe if they put emphasis on former world champion, it could be either. Well, it could be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is technically former world champion. So it could be Drew McIntyre, it could be Seth Rollins, it could be Sheamus. Those three would be fine with me. Sheamus, we haven't seen it. He just got his big win over Pete Dunne. So maybe Sheamus is elevate him into the world title picture would be good. Would be cool. So he beats Dominic Mysterio, and then he's like, "Oh, I want to be world champion." And then him and Damian Priest have a thing. So you got some options for the world title picture. So that would be interesting. Speaking of which, Gunther was talking about his what Cody Rhodes said. He said he'll be in Brooklyn, and then that's when Damian Priest comes in. Uh, Gunther was trying to talk. He was like, "That don't talk, just listen to me." It's like I got screwed out of that title. He's like, "I'm not here to punch you, to be mad." It's like, "Look, you want it. It is what it is. My job with Judgment Day is over. They're in my rear view. So next up, after your business with Cody, your next problem is me." He was like, "Well, good for you," and he just walks away, which is hilarious. So that was good stuff. We like. What else did we? I mean, this match was good stuff. It was LWO versus American Made. American Made. Uh, I thought, honestly, in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, American Made is gonna win. They're gonna have a heel team. They're gonna have kind of a babyface team in the War Raiders, which I assume they're gonna. And then you got kind of heel in Xavier Woods. You got kind of face it in Kofi Kingston. I was like, oh, now we're cooking. But no. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee gets the win. Which is, you know, sure. Hey, I love me some Dragon Lee. I love me some Rey Mysterio. But it's like, I don't know. Why aren't your tag team? If you have a tag team in LWO, why aren't they in? Anyway, that would be interesting to see how this plays out because also, of course, LWO has the thing with the Judgment Day because of Dom Mysterio, the whole thing that they've been doing. So it'd be interesting to see if they actually win this triple threat match. New Day got things going on with them. Um, the War Raiders is the thing that I would think also that they would win because of course Woods got problems with LWO because of the whole thing that they said they cost them the tag titles. So you can have the War Raiders win, and then that leads off a reluctant from Kofi Kingston, but a New Day versus LWO tag match type thing. So you could do that. War Raiders could go on again. Ooh, Judgment Day, which would kind of technically might mean that the War Raiders might have to win. Well, they might do a lot of interfering to keep those titles. But I don't think the New Day is going to win. So I think either LWO, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee is going to win because the whole that whole thing. And I think the New Day or Woods or something would cost LWO their match, which would still lead into LWO and New Day type thing. Because Wood still have a problem. Wood still has a problem with Rey Mysterio, or they'll do the War Raiders win. A lot of interference for them to lose, and they still do LWO versus New Day in a different way. So that'll be interesting. But They did get the win. Uh, Chad Gable was trying to cheat. Uh, Zelina they came with La Chakra, La Chaka, the shoe, the slipper. Threw it at Chad Gable's face, and then her and Ivy Nile got into a thing, and yeah, that was good stuff. And then that distraction led to I think Dragon Lee getting the roll up on uh no, they hit their finish in on Julius, and they pinned Julius. So it was good stuff. I kind of wish the Creeds won, but they still they'll get in, they'll get it uh back together. Um, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate though because it's 3 hours. Man, they could have went better, but it is what it is. Uh, yeah. Anyways, main event. It is Jey Uso defending his Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. As I said, alluded earlier, the Bloodline do show up. Everybody's making noises. They're like, "What's going on?" Uh, 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 my boy Braun Breaker, he was in control for most of the match anyway, so it's not like he kind of needed him. Well, towards the end, he kind of did need him, and even on commentary, they did talk about how like early in Jay's matches, he struggles a little bit to get going, but towards the end, he kind of does his unorthodox type stuff, and he gets in there, but he looks after he caught Braun with some super kicks or in a spear, I think, and Solo and Jacob is there. He's like, I got tickets. He's like, I'm trying to help you. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm trying to help you. He's like, I don't need your help. So uh, that leads to Braun trying to take out uh, 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 Jay, but Jay takes him out. That's when he hits the double Uso splash, or he hits like a spear and an Uso splash for a two, and then he comes out to the ring where Braun is, and then Tonga Loa is like, I got you. They're like grabbing on him, like on around his neck and stuff. Like, he's like, we got you. He's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. He's like, we're trying to help you. Bang, super kick to him. He falls over. Tama Tonga comes out, super kick to him, and then Solo was like, man, what you doing? We're trying to help you. Like, I don't need your help. I got it. I don't need your help. And then Braun spears uh, Solo, and then Braun spears Solo, and then Jacob Fatu comes over the ramp, and then you got Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker staring at each other. I was like, oh, give me some of that. That's what I need in my life. And then uh, 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 Jey Uso, he's inside now. Braun Breaker pushes Solo a little bit. They kind of not really go after each other, but kind of pushes them. Jey Uso, boom, suicide dives towards Braun Breaker. He takes out him, and then he's trying to do the thing that Braun does. The Tongans are distracting the ref. Super kick to Jey Uso, Samoan drop on the announce table. Even though technically the ref saw that, but Jey Uso probably should still be Intercontinental Champion. But you know what? We let that slide. I guess for now we shouldn't let it slide, but I guess we'll let it slide. He lets him inside. Braun Breaker, Super Spear, 1, 2, 3, in new Intercontinental Champion for the second time. It is Braun Breaker. Arr, 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 ooh, where the dogs at? The crowd didn't like it. They like Braun Breaker, but they did not like that ending. They liked them some Jey Uso. Big pop for Jey Uso. Big super duper over. Which is why I assume that they didn't mind it. A lot of people. It is interesting to see what happened from last or 2 weeks ago, from when after he shook his hand and stuff like that, and he was going to go after Gunther. In my mind, because everybody was saying, well, he might have did that because of Goldberg. But I think the division right now is already like stacked for Gunther for right now. That there was just like, well, we won't have anything for him now because also because of Ilya Dragunov since he's injured. They're probably just like, well, we don't really got nothing for. We wouldn't have nothing for Braun since Jay's going to be in this bloodline stuff. They're going, well, what's going to happen with Braun? He's not going to beat Gunther anytime soon. And then so what's going to be next? I guess the only thing that could be next, where he would just be in the main title scene and he would just be going against guys like Priest and Punk and Seth or whoever is up there that they want him to do, which he could thrive in because he's great. But it'd just be like, well, after that, because I mean, unless they just keep him up there, whereas where he's in the IC title picture, he'd be IC champion. Jay can focus on Bloodline stuff. He probably won't still be totally behind the Bloodline stuff, but they'll the missing piece is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn. He's the piece that is going to probably try to get them all together because I think he still might show up. I think Jay still will probably show up on SmackDown and he'll probably just lay it to everybody. He'll be like, I hate all of you. Forget all y'all. I don't love any of y'all. Jimmy, you're the reason why every single time I was champion or was about to be champion, you're the reason why I wasn't champion. Roman, you're definitely the reason why, because you're the one that's telling Jay to take me away from all that to do it. You're the one that ordered him to do it. Uh, Solo, you're the reason why right now I'm not Intercontinental Champion. And the other times that kind of led the distraction for him losing the other titles. Tongans, I hate you. And then Jacob Fatu, super kick Jacob Fatu. That's a receipt. Now we're even, and then he leaves. Um, so that will be my assumption. And then Monday they'll probably have something with Sami Zayn. Maybe Sammy, is talking about what's next, and then maybe Jim Uso show up and like, hey, can we talk? And then that's probably when Jay would show up. He'd be like, hey yo, I said leave us alone. He'd be like, Sammy, let's go. And then of course Sammy would follow Jay for a little bit. And he's like, sorry. And then they'll probably do something where they're trying to talk, and then that's how they'll get Jay wrapped in because Sammy's gonna get involved, which is gonna suck for Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens is like Sammy. That would be my guess. So that would be interesting stuff. And then of course, you can always do Jay Uso can always maybe after Survivor Series when it's done, maybe he goes back for the Intercontinental Championship. They'll probably do. I don't know if he'll defend his title at Crown Jewel, but they'll probably do a champion versus champion match at at Survivor Series, which is probably him and would it be him and Mello? That'd be interesting. It would be him and Mello, or it'll probably be him and LA Knight. They might keep the title. They want the heel and babyface thing, so they might keep the title uh, between both of them for SummerSlam or for Survivor Series. Then they might maybe what's after Survivor? The Saturday Night main event. Then maybe they might drop it back. He might drop it back to Jay, or they'll do a thing with him and Sheamus. They could do a thing with him and Sheamus because Sheamus has been saying that he wants to be Intercontinental Champion. He's been talking about it for like 3 years. 3 4 years that's the only title that he's never done. He's been world champion, he's been WWE champion, he's been United States champion, he's been tag team champion. I think he's been Raw and SmackDown tag team champion. He's won Money in the Bank. He's won Royal Rumble. I don't know if he's main event of WrestleMania, but he's won title at WrestleMania. So he's pretty much done everything that there is to do for him except to win the Intercontinental Championship. So that will probably be the story. If it's not him, if it's not Jay, and they keep Jay in the Bloodline stuff until next year, I would I could see it being Sheamus. He'll be the one to take the title off of him, and then maybe either Pete Dunne, Dom Mysterio, or even Finn Balor could probably take it off of Sheamus. And then they'll probably do they'll probably put Braun in the world title picture, and they'll probably do that with Jay Uso too. They'll probably put him in the top title picture. Maybe they'll have him win Money in the Bank, so it could be Yeet in the Bank. It could actually be Yeet in the Bank, and then he'll hold it, and then he'll probably be world champion. So that would be my guess. I think they want to do the Usos versus Gorillas of Destiny. I think they want to do that match at WrestleMania. It's a big money match. Um, I think they want to save it. I don't think the Tongans will be tag team champions for that long. Well, that much longer. They might lose it to the Machine Guns. I think if they do that, I think there'll be something like Jay or Jimmy, or not Jay, Jimmy or Roman will probably help cost them the titles, and Machine Guns will probably win, so they can be top of that tag team division. So it'll all be interesting to see what happens. For the show, I'll give the show a B, solid 8.5 out of 10. It was solid. It was good stuff. The brawl with Braun and Seth was good stuff. The women's division, good stuff. We like those. Uh, Braun being Intercontinental Champion, it is what it is. It just leads to further the story, so that's fine. I can't be mad at it. Uh, yeah, that was the show. What'd you guys think of it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did you really like it? Did you really not like it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.